Yo, is this thing on? What's up, people? My name is Stan, and last year I turned 30 years old, and my friend Dennis started a music video about me. So I thought, hey, let's get revenge. So like I said, I'm Dan, 30 years old, and I like to write my own songs. And I thought it's the perfect opportunity to show off what I can do, or can't do, whatever. So they asked me to be part of a video, by making a video, for a video, about making a video. She gave me a little list of things I should talk about, like the pre-story, how did it come to this, my experience with music, how I wrote the lyrics, how we made the music for this, and last but not least, feedback. So first up, the pre-story. I turned 30 years old last year in September, and my friend, together with Tio, made a music video about me, and it was kind of, well, rude. It was a bit mean, and it was also very funny. Thought, hey, let's get back on him. So I told Tio about my idea of making a music video about Dennis, and that's pretty much all there is to the pre-story. I already wrote a few songs, and the process is pretty much the same every time. I think about a topic, and I think about a few things I really want to say, but the rest just comes. I can't really explain it, it just happens. The words just fly by and bam! That's all. Of course I try to make it a bit similar to his video, because it was a revenge video. So next up, how we made the music. Unfortunately, I'm not much of a producer. I play the ukulele, I barely play the keyboard, and I'm just learning how to sing. So I went ahead and asked my father, Tim Peters, to make the music with me. We used GarageBand by Apple and just picked a beat that was kind of similar to the other video. Once we had the beat, we decided on what instruments to add and in which way we want to add them. So we decided to add some keyboard, some guitar, and just played around with it. Once we had a beat, we recorded all the singing and rapping for the video. We created some kind of pre-version for it, just the beat and the singing. And once that was set, we just played around with some instruments. We added the keyboard, we added the guitar, we added the bass. Yeah. Shout out again to Tim Peters, who basically created all the music for this song. I mean, I was sitting next to him, but other than giving my opinion, I couldn't really be much of help. So my experience with music. I don't really have much experience with music, to be honest. I like to write my own songs and I like to sing, and I'm just learning how to sing actually. But other than that, I can't really play many instruments, and besides my father being a musician, I don't really have any talent. So this actually is my first finished project when it comes to music. Last but not least, the feedback. To be honest, the experience was quite stressful because I started very late, and we only had like 2 or 3 weeks to finish the project. Because of the time pressure, we couldn't really redo the chorus like I wanted to, and in my opinion it actually kind of sucks. But hey, it is what it is. The first video, so who cares? But the outcome is actually quite surprising. I thought the video would be kind of trash, cause I'm not really a model and I never acted or something like that. So this whole experience was quite interesting and, like I said, stressful. That's it from me. Like and subscribe, and peace.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for this insight. And yes, this is still my channel. After the last time where I couldn't really talk about the music production part because I had to outsource it, I thought it would be interesting to include it this time. And I'm very grateful to Dan for actually going along with it, even though he was more than fed up being in front of a camera, and making a presentation on top of it was a huge pain for sure. So thank you very much. For those of you that have been following my journey on this platform, you probably already seen the first music video I made, and the making of video that followed this year. And I did warn you that I will be doing another one in the future. So when Dan asked me if I will do a video for his song, I was more than thrilled to get another chance. And since I wanted to make this one technically better than the last one, I rewatched my old video and thought thought about the things that I should improve and how I should go on about them. The main things I wasn't too happy about in last ones were not planning enough time, bad lip syncing, bad camera movement, and that the beat and the video did not sync up perfectly. And even though the first point was already kind of impossible, because Dan managed to give me only 1 week to film the entire thing and edit it before Dina's birthday, he at least knew his lyrics, so the lip syncing part wasn't that much of a problem. The camera movement, however, was on a whole different story. I watched a bunch of tutorials on how to move steadily with a camera and get smooth shots, but even with practice, I decided that the best thing for me would be to get something professionals used, a gimbal. Ever since I watched my first footage back then, I wanted to get hands on one of those babies. And I'm very happy to have found one that was not only affordable, but also easy to use and included everything I needed. So the DJI Ronin-SC gimbal is perfect for lightweighted and small cameras like my Canon M50. It comes in a very pretty styrofoam case too. Inside there is a tripod, the grip with the battery, the main thing with all the motors, joysticks and control buttons on, as well as a mounting plate and a phone holder that you can attach if you need it. Setting this gimbal up isn't very difficult. It just takes a bit of practice because you need to level your camera manually before you can switch on a gimbal for it to be precise. The only down point which I will try to fix in the future is that Canon made the cable port on this side, which is kind of not very comfortable to use with the cables DJI has included. So I will probably try to find another solution for it. It does work like this, just remember to put the end of the 90-degree angle on the gimbal and not your camera, or you won't be able to use the record button. You also have to install an app to use it and set up your gimbal, with who you can also start the camera from afar or track a person or object. There is still a lot I have to play with and that I haven't used, but I'm sure I will get more opportunities with it in the future. Let me get this straight, I don't think this is really something everyone has to get to shoot efficient. It is just something I always wanted to use and that I hope will make up a bit for the skills that I lack. And it totally did improve the stability and the movements of the shots. So after Dan hit me up and I immediately ordered the gimbal, we had a meeting about all the scenes he wanted to make and the ideas he had. I don't know how other people do it. For me, the easiest to write down and envision is to print out the whole lyrics and write down all the scenes next to them. It just helps me with making sure to have enough scenes for each part, as well as see if the variety is enough. After that, I make a list of all the outfits and props we need and check the calendar to see when we need to shoot which scene. The weather this time was playing a huge part in how we shot, because after preparing everything and waiting for the gimbal to arrive, we only had one sunny day left before another week of rain. And as Dan said, it was very stressful. And the fact that the music still wasn't finished 3 days before Dina's birthday didn't make things better. So the real editing process started 2 days before the final day. And man, I made an all-nighter. Or rather 2. I guess editing for YouTube these 2 months did give me kind of a routine and experience, so the process was way faster than last year. At the beginning I just went and lined up all the clips I had, really sang from start to finish. Then I decided which I wanted to use in each part and cut the removing parts out. After a while I had a manageable timeline, so the major time I had to spend was moving the clips to perfectly match his mouth movement, as well as fit all the B-rolls we had made into the video without overdoing it. And even though Dan said that he isn't much of an actor, he did make the editing process for me easier by sticking to a choreography for each part that he made up. We never discussed this one, but when I started cutting the clips and jumping from one scene to another, I noticed that he always kind of did the same movement, which made the transition easier. Obviously, both Dan with his music and me with my filmmaking are far from perfect. But it was a fun experience, and I'm sure if we both continue working on it, we will improve after a while. I mean, you can already see a difference from my first music video to my second one. Dan will probably start his own YouTube channel when he finishes his next first real song, so please follow him as well in the future. If you are someone trying to do something like this as well, or were just interested in seeing how producing a music video as a beginner goes, then I hope this and the last video I made were helpful. I have included all the gear that I used in the description, so please check that out as well and leave a like for the algorithm. And if you're interested to see what other things I'll be trying out in the future, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and I will see you all in the next video. Ciao! Dan, wo gehst du hin?
Ja, es geht mit alle gut.
Nein.
Es ist tiefer als ich dachte. Warum war das so tief?
Aber ich weiß wenigstens auf Kamera.
Warum war das so tief? Hier ist nicht so tief. Ja, guck mal, hier geht's echt runter. Wow. Bereit?
Ja, mach den danach.
Oh Gott. Oh Gott.